Hello, everyone. This is Noah Rosenblatt. I am from UrbanDigs, and this is your Week 10 COVID Manhattan market update. The goal of this weekly update is to, of course, track the destruction that this market had due to this coronavirus, to watch the bottoming, and to ultimately track the recovery. That's why we're doing it on Fridays. We're doing it every week, and let's get right into it. When I look this week at supply, it's at 5107. When I did this last week, it was at 5,040. Turns out the low was last week right now in supply since I started doing this. When I first started doing this, supply was at 6582. So you must understand that this is a much narrower pool of inventory than what's used to for this time of year in a normal market. Of course, we're anything but normal. We should probably be in the mid sevens right now in terms of inventory. And a lot of this stuff is because of listings that did not come on the market that should have. We should have had at least 2,000 listings come on the market this month, last month, and we had around 280. All right, so that's the reason why. Moving on to pending sales, we came in at 2169. That right now is the low. When I did this last week, it was at 2243. When I first started doing this on week one, it was at 2650. I expect pending sales to continue to fall even as supply starts to bottom and recover. So first, you're going to see the reaction in supply, and you're going to see the reactions on the sell side. Sellers starting to come back to normalcy, sellers starting to wanting to list in this environment. And then at a lag, probably at a notable lag, are you going to see pending sales bottom, round out, and ultimately recover? So it's early right now for pending sales. We're going to most likely see this number below 2,000. How low it goes, that's anyone's bet, but this is the one number that we're looking for to see turn the corner. Now, this is a 6-month window. So this is looking at all listings that are pending, that are signed into contract. It's the front end of the pipe. It's the listings every day that's not going into that number that's making this number decline. So as the back end of that pipe, think about listings that were signed in December. Think about listings that were signed in January or February that did not close yet. They might still be pending. They're not true COVID deals, but they were pre-COVID. That's what's making up this number. So what you're seeing right now is the lack of stuff coming in the front end is ultimately going to be impacting this, and this is going to be falling for a significant time. So let's expect that. All right, so let's move over to the dashboard and do our 1 week checks. Our 1 week checks. When I check 1 week active inventory, we came in at 145. When I did this last week, we were at 105. The low for this was week 5 when it had a 70 handle. Okay. When I first started doing this, we were at 138. So you're seeing a chart overlay right now. I'm not going to say all the numbers, but you're looking at it right now. This number went down, 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 reached a low of a weekly 70 number. And then we have been ticking up. And we're starting to rise now. We're starting to see a little bit of a pop, and that's what we're looking for. Remember, don't forget the goal of all this. There's 3 levers that we're looking for. We're looking for weekly inventory, weekly contract signed, and weekly off market. And we're looking for weekly inventory to rise. We're looking for weekly contract signed to rise, and we're looking for weekly off market to fall. So that's what we're looking for. So the first lever is going in our direction. That is a good sign. We should see about 500 of these. So we got a ways to go to get back to normal, okay? 1 week contract signed. Where did that come in at? 48, okay? When I did this last week, it was at 36. So as far as I'm concerned, that's not a bad number, even though, of course, I would like it much higher, as long as we're not going lower than last week's low of 36. When I first started doing this, we were at 136. Okay, last week was 36. That was the low. So we're bouncing a little bit off the low. 1 week is not a trend make. So we need to continue to look at this, but this is going in the right direction. This should be around the 200 to 250 level right now. So again, you have time and you're going to see the recovery. If we continue to do this weekly analysis, you'll see the recovery come. Okay. Moving on to off market, our final metric, 1 week off market. Where did you come in at? 122. When I did this last week, it was at 192. The low for this was week 7. That was at 117. When I first started doing this, right when the coronavirus started hitting us, everyone was going off market. Week 2, this number was at 424. So you're seeing the chart right now. Week 3 was 409. Those were the 2 top weeks. And then we started coming down. Week 7 was our low. The good news is that we're lower now than last week. That's a good sign. You don't want listings going off market. You want listings going active, and you want listings going into contract. That's where you want. So we want off market to go down. So the three levers that we're looking for, active and contract signed to go up week to week, and the one lever of off market to go down, we got all three. So we got all three. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. So the narrative starts to change now. The narrative starts to change to like, all right, we've been through phase one. Phase one was kind of the destruction mode. It lasted 10 weeks. And we're starting to get into that kind of bottoming, normalizing. And again, you're going to see it in supply first. I am not saying that contract activity is rebounding by any means. It's ticking up, and that's not a trend. It's still very, 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 very low, and we got a long way to go. But that's the way you want to see it go. All right, it's going to take up to 50 first before it goes to 100. So we got to watch it and see what happens over the next coming weeks. This is Noah Rosenblatt. I am from UrbanDigs. This is your Week 10 Coronavirus Manhattan Market Update. Stay safe, be well, and I'll catch you next week.